Dr. Frost said firmly, "You're here now, noticing and acting, that's what matters." Letters. She pulled out another drawing from her file. "This is from yesterday's session. I think you need to see it." The new drawing showed Ren's bedroom rendered in the same unsettling detail as the beach scene, but this time the camera wasn't hidden. It was mounted in the corner of the room, its lens aimed at the bed where a small figure lay sleeping. Taya felt the room spin slightly. I should check her room right now before you do." Dr. Frost's voice was gentle but urgent. "We need to discuss safe next steps. If there are hidden cameras in your home, confronting this situation requires careful planning. Do you have someone you trust with technical expertise?" Taya thought of Sage Winters, her best friend since college, who now worked in cybersecurity. "Yes, I do." "Good, I'm going to give you some resources and contacts." Dr. Frost began writing on her notepad. "But first I want to show you something else in Ren's recent artwork that concerns me." She laid out several drawings in chronological order. "Notice how the camera angles change over time. They start from doorways, then move to windows, then to hidden corners. There's a progression here that suggests escalating behavior." Taya forced herself to look at each piece to really see what her daughter had been trying to tell her. In the earliest drawings the camera was barely noticeable, just a suggestion of a shape in the background, but in each subsequent piece it became more prominent, more invasive. "There's something else," Dr. Frost said, pointing to the most recent pieces. "Look at the timestamps Ren has started adding to her drawings." Taya leaned closer. In tiny precise numbers Ren had begun noting times: 3:42 p.m., 4:15 p.m., 3:37 p.m. "These are the times she's home alone with Caleb while you're teaching your afternoon classes." Dr. Frost confirmed she's creating a record. Toa children are remarkably resourceful when they're trying to communicate distress back home. That evening Taya sat at her laptop, her hands shaking as she opened Caleb's browser history on their shared computer. He was working late again, something that had become increasingly common. The first few pages showed nothing unusual: photography, forms, equipment reviews, online banking. But then she found it, a folder buried deep in his cloud storage, innocuously labeled beach projects. The preview thumbnails were enough: dozens of photos, all of Ren, all taken without her knowledge, some from behind curtains, others through windows, many focusing on her in swimwear or summer clothes. The timestamps matched perfectly with the times in her drawings. Taya closed the laptop, fighting down waves of nausea. She grabbed her phone, typing a quick message to Sage: "Need help installing security cameras, urgent, can't explain over text." The response came immediately: "Coming over tomorrow morning, tell no one." Upstairs she heard Ren's door close softly, followed by the distinctive click of her lock. When had that sound become normal? When had she started accepting her daughter's fear as routine? In her room Ren was sitting at her desk drawing again. This time the scene showed their house from the outside, with tiny red dots marking every window, places where she'd notice cameras watching in the corner. She'd written today's date and time, continuing her careful documentation. "Firefly." Taya kept her voice steady through sheer will. "Remember what you said about it being just you and me?" Ren nodded without looking up from her drawing. "Soon," Taya promised, her hand finding her phone in her pocket where Sage's message wait. "Very soon. The cameras need to be completely undetectable," Sage Winters whispered as she unpacked her equipment on Toa's kitchen counter. It was 5:30 a.m. and weak winter light was just beginning to creep through the windows. "If he's as tech-savvy as you say, he'll be looking for them." Taya watched her friend's efficient movements as she tested each tiny device. Sage had arrived wearing what she called her weekend mom disguise, yoga pants and a bright purple sweater that completely belied her usual all-black cybersecurity aesthetic. If anyone saw her arriving they'd assume she was just another mom coming for early morning coffee. "How long will set up take?" Taya asked, keeping her voice low. "Upstairs both Ren and Caleb were still asleep. 2 hours max. These are top-of-the-line micro cameras with direct cloud upload. Even if he finds them, the footage is already secured off-site." Sage paused, her dark eyes serious. "Taya, are you sure about this? Once we start there's no going back." In answer Taya pulled out Ren's latest drawing from her teaching folder. She'd found it yesterday, carefully hidden between homework assignments. The scene showed their living room, but from a high angle, as if viewed through a lens mounted near the ceiling. In the corner Ren had written, "He watches even when he's not here." Sage studied the drawing, her expression hardening. "Okay, let's get started. First camera goes in the main living area. Show me where he usually sets up his equipment." They worked methodically through the house, placing cameras in every common area. Sage chose angles that would cover the most space, while remaining invisible to casual observation. Each device was Smaller than a dime disguised to blend perfectly with smoke detectors, light fixtures and cabinet corners. What about upstairs? Sage asked as they finished the ground floor. Hune's been pushing to convert the spare room into a dark room. Taya said claims it's for teaching Ren photography. That room definitely needs coverage. Sage pulled out what looked like a regular power strip. This one has 3 cameras built in, will catch every angle. As they climbed the stairs, a floorboard creaked. Both women froze. But the house remained silent. Through Ren's door they could hear her soft regular breathing. Taya checked her watch. 6:45 a.m. Caleb usually woke